We are still being challenged. We have gone through some crazy 2 years already, and our governments are now telling us another dark winter is coming. Of course, no surprise. Like I said, keep your eyes focused on what is positive and happy in your life. Anything that lifts your spirit up, do it, because the demons are feeding off of all this fear. And for everybody out there facing financial struggles, I know what that's like. I am so sorry. I grew up very, very poor. And there are a lot of times when I think, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Like you're in this tough spot. And then a miracle happens. And then somehow, amazingly, we get out of it. Now I'm still doing these videos. Hit the notification button, even though I wish I had the time to do a lot more videos, but I don't. I have 4 kids. I haven't even done much wrapping of presents yet. Oops. But I am back to writing, and I'm really super excited to talk about that real fast. I'm writing a children's story this time. It's sci-fi / fantasy, and it's a real challenge. I've done a lot of rewriting, and I hope to have it done by spring. I just wanted to share one quick story before I go. On Thursday, I went to get blood drawn, and there was just a bit of confusion about the one that I needed. So I almost left, but then they told me they can do it, so I went back in. And when I was walking out of the building, there was like nobody around. There was cars in the parking lot, but this is like a really big plaza. And it was like really, really quiet, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I hear a woman call, ask me for help. And the Uber had dropped her off in this plaza and left. And the note on her doctor's prescription had the building number that I just came out of. And I asked her if she went in there, and she checked the whole second floor. There's nobody up there. She went to the other buildings. There was nobody there. I mean, her doctor was nowhere to be found, even though it had this number of the same address that I was just at. And I asked her if, I helped her. I told her, I said, hey, I have time. I'm not going anywhere. I said, I'm not leaving until I know that, this is all sorted. So I used my phone. I called the doctor's office. They told me it was in a different, it was in a different building altogether, and which meant that she needed a ride. And I said to her, I said, do you mind getting in a stranger's car? Because they always tell you never get in a stranger's car. But she's lucky she met the angel mom. It's like God works in mysterious ways. And that moment of time when I came out, and that moment of time when she needed help, a miracle happened. So I said to her, Evelyn, who's a beautiful, wonderful, amazing woman, I'm so glad to have met her. And I was so glad to, I'm so grateful to be there at that moment in time. And I said to Evelyn, I said, do you mind if I give you a lift? And she's like, no. She goes, that's really, really wonderful of you. And we got into my car, and I drove her over to where she needed to be, which wasn't far down the road. But before she got out of the car, I mentioned to her, I said, hey, I see angels, and I told her about my YouTube channel and stuff like that. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And we started talking, and that's how, this all works. Sometimes when we don't think we have angels watching over us, they are watching over us. And at that moment in time, this woman, Evelyn, had angels watching over her. Otherwise, she's stuck in this middle of like this really quiet plaza and nowhere, no idea where she's at, where she's going, and I felt my heart goes out for her. I know that's like where, you get lost and you have no idea where you're at. And I get lost all the time. My own, I do things like that. I'm the person who sees in a dream not to drive down the wrong road, and I'll still do it anyway. I think I mentioned that story one time when I saw everything play out in a dream, and then I'll wake up and I'll still do the same thing. We're only human. Anyway, that's my feel-good Christmas story, and I'm really, really blessed to meet so many wonderful people. I mean, I'm not popular on YouTube, but I do it outside of YouTube. I have this, it's almost like I run into people I'm meant to run into, and I'm just so grateful for that. And no matter where you are in the world, like I said, just hold on to the light. Keep standing up for your beliefs. The angels are on your side.